Thank you to Journalsay for sponsoring today's video. Alright friends, hi, hello, welcome if you're new, welcome back to my channel. This is a video that I've literally had sitting in my edited folder since February, and you can tell because of what my nails currently look like. In this video, these are like the Van Gogh Starry Night February bullet journal setup nails. And I've finally gotten around to posting it, so here we go. All of these stationery goodies were kindly sent to me from Journalsay, so huge thank you to them. My plan for the stationery haul was essentially planning ahead, to be quite honest. I know that I said in my 2024 bullet journal setup video that I was going to be doing some kind of art history journal this year. Have I started it? No. Is it already midway through 2024? Yes. But I still have the stationery for it. I haven't had the time. I don't know. Maybe it was too ambitious to kind of set that as a goal, but we are not done with the year. I still have I still have 6 months to try to, you know, live up to that goal that I set myself. But in the meantime, we're going to look at all the stationery that I have in mind to use for that journal. And honestly, I've used a ton of this stuff already in very many of my spreads so far this year, which I will show at the end of this video. But all in all, a majority of these stationery items are pretty much art history based. I also got a few items that I was planning to use for Journaltober, which is my annual journaling challenge that I host every October. So I was just kind of keeping in mind things that I knew I was going to eventually use, because I didn't know the next time I was going to be able to order from Journalsay myself, which kind of leads to the next issue, being that this video is going up a lot later than I would have wanted. I don't know how many of these items are still available for purchase. Of whatever I end up finding, I of course will make sure to link in the description. However, I do know for a fact that the washi tape that I used for my June setup is no longer available. If you haven't seen that video yet, I will link it in the cards, but it is this beautiful gothic black and red floral washi tape that I used literally throughout the entire setup, and I couldn't find it. So sorry if, you know, you've been really wanting to pick up that washi tape, but it's no longer available. But anywho, this video is going to be relatively quick as I'm kind of just showing you the items and moving on to the next one. So these frames I've used in a ton of my spreads. They are so much fun to use. They are relatively thick. I know it doesn't translate that well on camera, but they're essentially like cardstock vintage frames, which makes them feel super durable and makes them feel a little bit more like a frame, if that makes sense. And I've just had a blast using them. I have also used these stamps a ton, specifically the coffee stained ones. It makes me really want to get a brown ink pad because I feel like it would just look so good with those coffee stamps. The only issue with stamps is that they are kind of difficult to store, and as you can imagine, if you've seen my previous stationery haul video that I did earlier in the year, plus this one, I've run out of room for a majority of my stationery. I just struggle to store stamps specifically because they come in like all different shapes and sizes and thicknesses. I normally just tend to use the smaller ones on a more frequent basis, so I just kind of keep those on my desk, and then the ones that are more theme based, or the larger ones, I have to keep like in a separate storage container because I just don't have enough room to store my stationery hoarding addiction. Something else I was keeping in mind while I was browsing the Journalsay website was trying to find stationery that I was thinking of using for like my reading / book related spreads, including these 2 sticker packs. One is very much so like a winter-esque fantasy. Well, they're both kind of fantasy related stickers, but one is very more so winter based and the other is more so like a gothic romance. Very similar again to my June bullet journal setup. I've actually already used the more gothic related stickers for a bookish mood board spread. I'm making a point this year that I want to do like a dedicated spread for all of my 5-star reads. And I think so far this year I have 5 books that I've given 5 stars. If you're interested in seeing them, I am slowly starting to post them to my Instagram. But if you want to see how I set them up, my most recent Journal With Me video over on Patreon is me creating 2 5-star read mood board spreads. So if you join the Manderly tier, you will have access to all of the previous Journal With Me's that I've done so far since adding the Manderly tier. Also, can we talk about how cute that packaging is for these coffee pens? Honestly, I had no idea how these pens were going to perform. I pretty much just got it because they were coffee pens and they all looked so chubby and also cute and different and inspired by different kinds of coffee. So this was just kind of an instant buy. Do I need more pens? Absolutely not. But I didn't have coffee pens, so now I do. All in all, the majority of this stationery haul is pretty much washi tape with some ephemera bits here and there, including this very thick booklet of I think like 500 paintings. It is like that vellum material, so it's a little bit more translucent than what I would have liked, but I essentially just have to be creative with how I paste them into my journals. Speaking of thick and washi tapes, I got quite a few larger tapes this time around. Honestly, I either got ones that were really large or ones that were super thin. Journalsay actually has a significant amount of art history inspired stationery, which is just perfect for me. I definitely will probably do another Journalsay order just to really make sure that I have enough stationery as possible for when I eventually decide to start the journal. But besides that, I did mention this in my June setup, but I will be opening up journaling commissions in July, so I definitely need to have as much stationery as possible for when I eventually get to working on people's commissions. But at least this gives me a little bit of a head start. I think that's another reason why I'm so looking forward to opening up my commissions, is because I've accumulated so much stationery over the past few years, and honestly, I don't think I can journal enough to use everything that I've accumulated, so why not share the wealth and use it for other people's journals? Next up is this PET tape, which it might be one of my favorite items from this haul, to be honest, because of how unique it is. I don't think I've ever seen a more heavily detailed PET tape. This might be the most intricate one that I own, to be honest. I love that there's people and actually framed artworks, and on top of that, it is extremely thick. It's, again, you can't really tell in this clip, but there is so much of this washi tape, so I am definitely looking forward to using it. Another one of my favorite washi tape designs are when they look very similar to stamps, or they have like that traditional scalloped edge to them. I just find them so much fun to use and to layer onto a bunch of different papers and ephemera items. I would definitely love to design a stamp washi tape to sell in my shop one day. As I mentioned earlier, I picked up this set of super thin washi tape because I feel like I honestly don't really have that many, and sometimes I just want a little bit of washi tape, and if I do, I normally just cut like a normal size washi tape in half, but now I can just use these little thin ones. And I also loved that I picked this up because it has a very vintage-esque look to them. Speaking of vintage, I also picked up this pretty chunky set of washi tapes that have a bunch of little gilded elements as well. I'm not sure how often I will use the tapes from the set. I pretty much got it in case I needed some kind of washi tapes that had a little bit of shine to them. I also got a similar pack of washi tapes. Out of the two though, I think this one is probably more my speed and more so my favorite. I think I prefer like the tones of this set a little bit more. The other one, I felt like the colors were just a little bit on the vibrant side, but again, you never know. I'll probably use them at some point, but if I had to choose between the two, this one definitely has more washi tapes that I am interested in using, including this very cool Da Vinci one. Next up, this purchase was kind of an oopsie. I think I just didn't read if the dimensions if the dimensions of this clip were there. I definitely must have missed it. I thought this little pumpkin clip was going to be a lot bigger than it actually was. Anytime I've tried to use it so far, it just it doesn't really have much of a hold to it, but it's okay. It honestly was really inexpensive and it's super cute as some kind of photo decor piece, and I mean, it's a pumpkin, so I felt obligated to be honest. I also just realized that another way that I've been using up all of this stationery is by pen paling. I've recently started pen paling with some of my IRL friends, so it's just been a great opportunity for me to, of course, use the stationery that I love, but also to use the stationery that I don't normally gravitate towards, whether that's because of the color choices or the theme. I always love kind of creating some sort of theme with any of the pen pal letters I send, so it's just been so much fun kind of curating these letters in a style that I normally wouldn't use for my actual journals. Last but not least for the stationery haul is this envelope storage situation. This is actually the envelope that I've stored a majority of the items from the stationery haul, and I just have it sitting next to my desk. With all that being said, that is officially the end of this quick little stationery haul. Once again, a huge thank you to Journalsay for sponsoring today's video. If you are interested in placing an order for yourself and stocking up on some stationery bits, feel free to use my affiliate code 𝒅𝒊𝒔𝒄𝒆 to get some monies off. I do receive a small commission when someone uses my code, so if you choose to, thank you in advance. Here is a quick look at some of the setups where I've used a few of the items from today's video. If you'd like to see more stationery haul videos from me, make sure to give this video a like so I know. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!